Hey, welcome to the InterAxis YouTube channel, interaxis.io. As you know, we've been talking quite a bit about DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and a couple of them that we've started, PlannerDAO and LearnDAO. And today I just want to talk a little bit about some of the tools that we've been using, and some of the tools that some of the other DAOs, some of these other organizations that I've joined and been a part of, some of the other tools that they are using. Just a little bit so we can see how varied they are, because of course the different types of DAOs have different types of tools that they're using. Okay, so number one is you really want a way that people are going to communicate, right? So you need some sort of communication tool, which is how are those of us, of course, that are decentralized, distributed anywhere all over the world, a group of people that kind of has a common cause, but wants to chat about things. How are we going to communicate? How are we going to keep all of our thoughts together? And this is where you have potentially Telegram that people are using. You have Discord that people are using. We use something called Mighty Networks. So there are other tools people are using to actually, just communicate with each other and be able to have a conversation. There is Discourse, of course, no pun intended. So there are other ways that people that people are actually being able to communicate with each other. And this is, of course, different from, hey, let's go get together at the coffee shop and actually talk to each other. But these are ways that people are actually communicating with each other. And some of the nice things about when you get into Discords and Mighty Networks and such is you can actually break it out into different channels. So if you have a general channel and it is getting too full of all sorts of stuff, you can say, okay, what are people talking about the most? Are they talking about, tokenization or economics? Are they talking about something general, or is it a whole bunch of people from different cities that are talking to each other? Let's break those out in different channels and move those into a different place. And you also have an issue sometimes where you over-channel, right? You create so many channels in there that people don't know where to talk, so they just end up talking in the general chat anyway. So you have to have a way for people to communicate and talk to each other about what's going on or whatever's on their mind or whatever it might be, and you have to be able to police it. Okay, then you might want some sort of gatekeeping, right, which says, look, maybe we only allow certain people into our group. Maybe you have to have purchased an NFT. So you see a lot of the NFT-based DAOs that say you have to have purchased an NFT in order to come into our chat. And that's where you maybe have, you have to own the NFT. There's also, Unlock protocol has something like this. And then you can use something like CollabLand that actually from Discord verifies that you have this NFT in your wallet in order to then go participate in the conversation. So you have to have verified. Others, like Friends with Benefits, verify that you have a certain number of tokens before you're able to go chat with everybody else and really be a part of the group. So maybe have some sort of gatekeeping. You don't always need that, but maybe some sort of gatekeeping. And from there, now you go, all right, if we have real proposals, if we have things that we really have to talk about and propose, maybe now we need something a little bit more official, and that's potentially where you can get into something like Discourse. Okay, and this is like official, proposals and some sort of forum-based application where you can send people and say, look, this is where we're going to discuss proposals. We're going to have a certain way we go through them. They're timestamps. Everything's timestamped, and we can watch them go through the process. We can see how people are commenting on all of them, and then we can have certain rules within there. So you go from, we're just going to chat with each other, we're going to decide who we're going to chat with, and then we're going to actually have discussions about driving our progress or driving our goal forward or driving our protocol or driving our platform or whatever it is forward. We need to discuss some of those platforms or some of those protocols or some of those proposals. And then you get into tokenomics, right? So now you eventually have to discuss where are we going to hold our treasury, which is probably a whole different segment and a whole different video we need to create when you start talking about the treasury, but we'll go ahead here. So now you go, okay, we've discussed all the other the parts of the business. Now we're talking about potentially spending money. So now, number 4, I think I was on, you need some sort of wallet, right? So you're going to have more than likely some sort of multi-sig wallet. And what you'll see a lot of times, of course, is Gnosis multi-sig, and there are some other multi-sig wallets that are going to give the ability to keep the funds safe. So one person can't necessarily run off with all the funds. And a lot of times, what we're going to see in some of these DAOs is they make public who the signers are. Here are the signers. Here are their public addresses, so that we will all be able to know if someone tried to run off the funds or tried to implement something, we know who it was, or we know who signed for a particular transaction, a particular dispersal of funds. Right? And then you might want something, some sort of software application that is used for the proposals that involve money. Right, that is actually going to follow those proposals and has some business logic there, some logic that says, here's how you propose things, and it goes through a certain process. The one we're trying out for PlannerDAO is actually Colony, but I know there are some others that can be used, but it has some logic in there, and what we are trying to identify is does the logic in there, the logic of when we distribute tokens to those that are working within the DAO or those that are outside the DAO, does the logic make sense for us? And that's kind of what we're looking at. And potentially, you can connect that up to some sort of smart contracts that, in my estimation, most DAOs are not using, that says, look, if something passes, it will automatically trigger this wallet to disperse funds. We're not quite there yet. I don't think we all feel comfortable enough, because we know that smart contracts are not completely foolproof, and we don't want potentially large amounts of money, large amounts of crypto assets at risk by virtue of the fact that someone may be able to figure out a way to game this system to get this smart contract to trigger some of this. So again, just wanted to share some of the things that I'm seeing based on some of the DAOs that we are actually building. So in PlannerDAO, we're actually going through several of these things. We have the communication set up, we have the entry set up, we have a multi-sig wallet, we're trying out Colony. So there are all these different parts that are going to be part of these organizations going forward. And in another video, we'll talk about the different types of DAOs that we're seeing, because of course DAO became this this word or this phrase that everyone starts using, and everything's going to be DAOs and DAOs of the future. But we have to determine, one, should you even have some sort of decentralized organization? What does that look like? Why are you having it? And then there are different parts of decentralized organizations, so there are different types. So how are you going to set yours up? Why are you going to set yours up? What of these pieces do you need, and which are the right ones for you? And does it even make sense? And that's what we're going to continue to go over in some of these videos. But hope you enjoyed this. Hope you'll subscribe. Check us out on Twitter @InterAxis8, and we'll see you in the next video.